Very quiet trading today. In the E-mini, I didn't have much of a range to work with, so it is summer, and that might be the way it is. It is June the 11th, 2014, and time to wrap it up for the day. Just wanted to point out we had a sell in this 45 area, plus or minus. We had hoped to buy 35, 37. Did say 38 might be support, and you can see we don't take out 38. So the market pretty well behaved as we expected. We had our setups. The trades work well, but again, we don't have a lot of volatility to work with. The longer we stay in this area, the more likely we are to trade up. So we've had a rejection of prices above 53. And we broke this baby out from 1900 then 1925. So I think that the market really is waiting for a test of support before new money can come into it. Given the fact that we're 20 days or so away from the close of the second quarter, I don't think you'll have a lot of concentrated selling from the large institutions. Protect their compensation. So here's the 1925 breakout right here, and then back down at 1900. This area right here, we had a nice breakout. So 1900, 1925 is probably pretty good support. We have an outside day. That usually means trading range. We do have some news tomorrow that can stir things up. Tomorrow's news and jobless claims is expected at 315. Retail sales at plus 0.7. Ex-auto plus 0.4. And they really concentrate on the ex-auto number because that shows broad economic growth or the lack thereof. The automobile sector is strong and has been strong since 2009. We're clipping along north of a 16 million per annum annual rate of sales. That's really, really good. Almost every month everybody reports increased sales. So we thought we would get stops below the overnight session and perhaps back in this 34, 38 area. And we didn't quite get it. So we have ourselves a strong market. We definitely are dealing with a very strong P. We've got volume above time right here. So the market today rejected prices below 40, and the other day it rejected prices above 53. And we have 40 down here. So right now the sell is going to be the same as it was yesterday, 44.48, 44.46. Pretty much where we were, and then 49.51 where we were the day before yesterday. On the buy side, it's going to be 38 to 40, and then 34 to 36. And that's it for the E-mini. News tomorrow could stir things up. Okay, looking at the note, our premise this week was 3 higher auctions. So we had the first auction at 24, second auction at 24.04. Again, markets don't go straight up, so we can see some probing a little bit lower. If you look at the F1 screen, the lower high and the lower low favors lower prices, so we probably have some time to get long. The easiest short to get would be traded higher in the overnight session and have it fail to take out 04 to 08. The tough short would be drifting a little bit lower and then have it break from there. I don't think it can break because of the auction, but when we look at this screen says sell it. we look at the F2 screen, every day we do our analysis or homework the same way. We don't change it. Hopefully through osmosis or subconsciously you will absorb it. But you can see on the F2 screen we've got a P pattern which favors higher prices. So pretty good shot tomorrow. We'll get a test of support and resistance. I think the easiest trade to see, we close this thing at 1.5, 2, would be self-failure to take out 4 to 8, then 11 to 15. On the buy side, I like our 1 to 29. Obviously, I'd like to get it done closer to 29, but I do like the buy side of the market. And then 21, 25. It is a 30-year auction tomorrow, and like I said, you don't move the paper if you sell the market. So jobless claims, 315. Big number tomorrow will be retail sales, ex-auto, retail sales, +7. Ex-auto, +4. Import-export prices, no one will pay any attention to it. Business inventories, no one will pay any attention to it. That's up 0.3. And then natural gas inventories, no one will pay any attention to that except the national gas traders. So the number one focus will be retail sales ex-auto, and then number 2 will be jobless claims, and we'll have that news out of the way early. Then on to the 30-year auction. Okay, the knob spread held in there today, basically at 10.29, plus or minus a tick. We didn't get any movement out of it, so the numbers are basically going to be the same for the 30-year. And lots of crisscross information out there where the bond market's going to go, but bond market's holding its gains pretty well. The stock market's holding its gains pretty well, and typically they don't move the same way. The yield curve is flattened. Now, every now and then they're wrong on the yield curve. When the yield curve flattens, it tells you that they don't know really which way it's going to go, but if they had to make a trade, they would bet on economic contraction. So it's not really crystal clear here. A lot of people are starting to talk in terms of economic growth returning worldwide. I mean, I think that it's easier to make a case for very, very slow growth or contraction right now, but I think maybe stumbling through would probably be the best characterization. It's hard to break an economy with all this government spending going on also. So at some point they won't be able to do it, but we haven't reached that day yet. Okay, we're going to sell 7s to 11s, then 15s to 19s. In the 30-year, we're going to buy 25s to 29s and 17s to 21 on the hope that we might get a little more volatility. Okay, looking at gold, a pretty quiet day, all things considered. We get these B patterns in an update, but it doesn't break overnight. So we basically move the sell up from against 65 to north of 65 by a little. The buy area is we probably have pretty good support, 55 to 60, and we got resistance 65 to 70 right now, and can't call it Much better than that. There's not a lot going on. There's not volatility. The market is trading up. It's looking for a high. You're getting cautious probes higher. They don't hold. The market backs off a little bit, but it doesn't give up all of its gains. So a B in an up market means long liquidation, and that's what we had today. Would be my guess. So, I mean, the sell is going to be the same. We'll lower it a little bit, 63.65. And then really, really good selling against 70, so 69 to 71 will be sell 2. On the buy side, we got a B. We might take it lower. Volume's higher, so we'll make a 55.58 buy 1, and then 50.53 for buy 2. The buyers are the same. Retail accounts looking for bargains. The sellers are the same. The exchange members and sometimes central banks. And one of the issues, one of the big unknowns, is that most people don't know where the large institutions will buy gold, if they'll buy it at all. Okay, looking at crude oil. Crude's acting like it wants to trade higher. It looks a lot like gold. It's not giving up much in the way of gains. Lots of articles out there, the return of China to the market. What's going on in Iraq? I mean, how? I mean, that's just another one of these travesties that we see. And really can't explain it away. But the hornet's nest is alive and operating, and the Iraq is on fire now. Syria, the Turkish-Syrian border. Palestine versus Israel never stops. And there's nobody to try to calm either of these sides down. So probably pretty hard for crude to sell with all these different people shooting at each other. Okay, 475, 105, sell 1. 5 1/4, 550, sell 2. The market does act like it wants to get above 105, though. On the buy side, 4 1/4, and then 350, 375. I think we're dealing with a seller above 105 and a buyer below 104 as it stands right now, and that's a buck higher than it was last week. Okay, the euro is trying to sell. That is what the central bank desires. Hard to fight the Fed, as we well know. It's not impossible, but it puts you in the situation of having to be right. So we're looking at Bs primarily, and we're looking at sellers. So we wanted to sell the 50 to 60 area. And this morning it was there. We had hoped to buy 15s to 25s, didn't quite make it into the band. So we got another B. We've had a couple of attempts to get through 35, 60. My guess is we're going lower. So we'll lower the buy area to 35, 35.10, and then 75.85. On the upside, we'll make, we're currently trading at 28, so we'll make 30 to 40 our sell zone, and then 50 to 60 for sell 2. And that will do it for today. Had another good day of trading. Didn't have a lot of volatility to work with, but by 11 o'clock New York time, all of our buy and sell levels have been met. with our directional calls. It didn't start out that way. Crude wasn't cooperating until 11, but eventually we got there. So I had a good day. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you bright and early in the AM. I'm out of here.